right, everybody, welcome back to the Washed Athlete Podcast. This is episode number 34. And on this podcast, we're just a group of college guys talking about anything that's interesting to us, really. So everything from our favorite sports teams to our favorite Marvel movies to what's going on in school to just anything that's interesting in the news going on. If anything that you hear on this podcast is something you like, something you don't like, make sure to drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe. We'll be doing these pretty much every week. We got reviews also coming out. So, yeah, we got plenty of content. And let's just jump into it, I guess, to do the most cringy YouTuber, catchphrase right there. But how's everybody been doing?
Let's get into it.
Yeah.
School this week has been a lot less chaotic, which has been appreciated.
Yeah.
We kind of talked about last episode how we came off of midterms. I know, Peter, you said the week before was your midterm week. But it's been a pretty chill week, not too many assignments. I had a history exam on Tuesday. But other than that, we're chilling. Grades came back. They're solid overall. So, can't complain too much. But you know what they say, when one thing ends, another one starts. So exams are already heating up again. Some of our professors have already started talking about when the exam's coming up. I'm like, y'all, it's way too soon. My history professor today was
Exactly.
Don't worry, we got another essay right on the horizon. And he was November 4th. And I was like, dog,
we just did
this. And we're reading a book right now. It's about this declassified CIA. Well, it was classified, but then it got declassified because there was a whole movement within the CIA to get them to release some of their documents. And
that's probably really interesting.
It is really interesting, but he's it's pretty much we got to read it pretty quickly. We're going to discuss it, and then we have to write a paper on it. But I'm trying not to take notes because I don't know if anyone relates to this, but when you try to take notes when you're reading, not science, but when you're trying to take notes when you're reading an actual book, it takes so much longer, infinitely longer to read it. And I get the point is not always to just speed through it and you need to remember some of it, but it makes the process so less enjoyable. I got done I don't know 40 pages today when I was just between classes, and I'm if I tried taking notes on that, it would have taken me 2 times the amount of the length, and I would never get through it. And then I'm just then it just annoys me. So we're not taking notes. So when we go back to the essay, I'm just going to be the whole time trying to find all the quotes and all the good moments to it. But that's a cool thing about my history classes is I get to read a bunch of cool things while I'm taking all my my hard science courses, and I get to do stuff like that. But then I'm also I don't want to read this book right now. One of the other books is hiding from me, but it's yay thick, and I was sir, I have more important work than this right now.
He hands you just the thick book. It's oh god.
Yeah, I was I love Cuba just as much as you do, but I don't want to read a whole book on it.
Yeah, that's actually, I feel the same way because in my Spanish classes, it's we're always learning about Spanish history and Spanish culture and all that, and it's it's always really interesting. But then there's certain points where it's I did a project, one of the projects we had to do recently. It was you had to pick a famous artist from South America and pick one of their works of art and then do research about it. And I did the death of Pablo Escobar. And that was a really cool painting. Obviously, a lot of crazy history. I basically just rewatched Narcos for it, and I just that I was able to go up there and basically speak in fluent Spanish because I'd just been watching Narcos for so long. But stuff like that is always so interesting. But then it's you get to the okay, now we're gonna do grammar. It's I really don't want to do that right now. My brain is going to melt if I have to do the preterite again for the 30,000th time in Spanish class. God, please no.
Well, it's there's always that class where there's things that you can do that are super cool. For me, well, I don't know, even just more of a pain in the butt. In high school, it was always I was fine with lecture and class, but when I had to go do labs, I was y'all are really killing the vibe right now, because labs are supposed to be fun, but you know what, they're not fun. They're just annoying. You have to do all these procedures, and you never get anything cool. Chem lab, half of the day in class didn't produce the molecule that we needed to produce.
And then that's it. It's oh, they didn't do it.
And I'm not gonna lie, shout out to Luke, my lab partner, one of my best friends. We killed it. We got all the substances, but half the other class did, and I was a waste of 4 hours. You just did all this work to synthesize them all. Then you gotta go write a report on it just because you didn't get the product. That's pointless. Or like when you have to push cars in physics lab and you're like, cool, they already discovered this. Like, why am I don't need to confirm this. Like, there's been other people to confirm this. Like,
yeah, I feel it just defeats like the purpose. Like they're not trying anything. It's like I understand, you know, you need to like apply your knowledge and whatever, but it's like, but you can just tell me that. I trust you. I'm fully aware that the stuff that I am learning about has actually been proven in science before.
no, I'm like, I get the point of lab, but like, I get it. I get like every
It
time
just doesn't need to be 4 hours.
Every time you
just
tell a teacher
doesn't-
you don't like lab, they're like, but listen, like this is like how science is conducted. I'm like, I understand that, but like it's still a pain in my ass either way. Like I still
it's
don't
4
like it.
hours. I don't need to be there for that long. Just tell me what I need to do.
And then you have to work in groups. And I'm gonna be honest, like I know this is also something that teachers aren't gonna like to hear, but like working in group projects in college sucks. Why? Because people suck. And like it's so annoying because they don't like people don't get their work done and it's hard to coordinate and people like view their time differently. I'm like any open minute on my calendar, I'm like, cool, let's get this group project done. And then other people are like, I am not free all week. I'm like, that's impossible. That's impossible. Like you're just being annoying and then you can't get the work done. People don't pull their weight. It's just annoying. Like and I feel like it's different like if you work on group projects in like graduate school, like medical school and stuff, because everyone's already gotten to the point they're like actually all on board, like, oh yeah, we all need to get like work done. But like when you're working in like a physics lab group where half the people don't even want to like do it, then you're just like don't get through anything. And
and also like just in general, like people's schedules in college are so different. Like it's so hard to coordinate. It's like, okay, well you could do it over Zoom. That's horrible. That never works. It's just doing it individually while
the breakout
staring
room
at
experiment.
people. Yeah, exactly. It's like okay, yeah, let's hop on Zoom, and then it's like you talk about it for like 5 minutes, and then it's like, all right, we've already assigned what each person needs to do, and then you just do it independently. Like that's not group work. That's not teaching you anything. But then it's impossible to like, oh, let's go to the library and do it. The library's always full, no matter what. You can never find a room. You can never
don't
find
get me started
anything.
on the library. Oh my
Exactly.
God.
It's like there's no like it doesn't work. It's like unless you were doing it in class where you literally are forced just to sit there and do it, like it's so hard to coordinate that stuff. And like it almost never works out the way the teachers like actually intended.
Mm-hmm.
I hate school.
Well, we all do, Raj, all right?
I love when you're a kid, it's like a debate if people like school or not. Like when you're like in second grade or something, it's like, oh, do you like school? And then there's people who are like, no, I don't like school. And they're like always the problem kids. And everyone else is like, yeah, school's chill for the most part because you like friends, like class is pretty easy. Like you're just vibing, like learning the alphabet and stuff like that. And when you get to college, like no one likes school.
Everybody hates their lives. Everybody hates school. Like,
because there's a very clear distinction. It's not that we hate learning. It's that we hate like being forced to do work and be examined on the work.
Exactly.
I like learning. Like there's portions of the MCAT where I'm like studying for the MCAT where I'm like this is cool. Like my knowledge base is very high right now. Like it feels good. But I'm like, but then the fact that like I'm gonna get a score back at the end of January that reflects exactly how I did, that's what you don't want to do. Exactly. Same thing with history. Like it's cool if you like have to write an essay and not get it graded. This is why people love. This is why pass fail classes are awesome. If pass fail classes were like the entire curriculum, it would be a joke. That's also why they don't do it. If college was pass fail, it would be so easy. Like I'd have so much free time.
Exactly.
It would be so
like, I can
easy.
whip out a 70 on a paper without really trying. Like,
well, no, you wouldn't do anything. You would just pass.
Who needs
or fail.
commas?
Who needs commas? Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, it's hard because like there's definitely a better way to like actually go about learning than just doing like, okay, here's a test, study for the test, then do it. Like there's definitely a better way to do it. I don't know what that way is, but like because especially like the science, like in the like the STEM fields, it's hard to kind of argue against like just straight like, okay, you just need to know this information and you need to be able to apply it. So the only way to really do that is like through testing. Mm-hmm. But I feel like there's a better way to like learn it, I guess, because like obviously you're gonna need a test to see if somebody knows it. But if it's just like, okay, do the homework, do the quizzes, like do this, and it's like, I don't know. There's got to be a better way to do it.
Yeah, I'm pretty passionate about like I like talking about education and like how it can be better. I think elementary education is done awfully in this country. Like I think it's really bad. But it's weird because like you don't want to like I think that like testing people on like one bank of knowledge, and having everyone put like one focus on an exam is like not the right move. But then like for like college students, but then also at the same time, like you need to be able to differentiate people. There's for people who, I don't know if we talked about it on the pod before, but if we didn't, I'm just gonna do it again, talk about it again. When you go through medical school, you have to take the US LME step 1 and step 2 exams to get so that you can go into residency and start getting trained as a doctor. And the first step of it just got changed from a graded score to a pass-fail score, while the second exam is still graded. And it created a lot of controversy because it's like it's pass-fail now, which makes it a lot less stressful studying for it, which is cool. But then also you can't be compared to your classmates. So we all listen, like we'll keep it real. Like everyone has been at a point in their life where they've had a class and been like, I'm so much smarter than like X, Y, or Z person in this class. So then when you're like in your medical school and people are all passing their USMLE step 1, you're like, well, this person could got the same score as me technically, but like I'm way smarter than them. So it's like it's hard to be like make everything pass fail because then like there's no way to differentiate people.
That, and it's also like, are you lowering the bar for everybody? It's like, are we making like worse doctors by doing that, or are we just getting more doctors into the field that can then like get more hands-on experience and then kind of learn by that versus just knowing everything going into it immediately?
Yep. And some people are like, to go to medical school, you shouldn't need to take the MCAT because like it's just one big exam and it puts too much weight onto it and it's stressful. And I'm like, I hear that argument, but also, how do medical schools know that you're capable of studying for a big exam and knowing a lot of information? Because if you didn't need to apply, and they'd just be like, oh, just based on your coursework. But like, what about like I don't remember a lot of like physics that I learned, for example. So like I would just go into medical school and there'd be no delineation between Raj and I about who knows like physics more or anything like that. So I don't know. It's like a very interesting like topic, but no, education at the elementary level can be done better, a lot better. They have a lot better results over in countries like Sweden and Finland on their like childhood education. We also don't pay teachers enough. So there's my political statement of the day.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, because think about it. Like
real
logically,
hard stance right there.
Yeah, logically, think about it. Like teachers go into work like 7 a.m., 7:30, 7 a.m., 8 a.m. sometimes. And they stay till like 4 p.m. Their job, especially if you're at elementary level, is to watch a bunch of like kindergarten to 4th graders the entire day, which has an awful like I love kids, but like 4th graders are terrible. Like their hormones are going everywhere. They're loud, they're obnoxious, they don't want to do their work.
Okay.
Kindergartners
probably
don't
not 4th graders. I would say middle schoolers. I would argue.
No, middle school,
more.
No, middle school hormones are definitely still going crazy, but like 4th grade is when you start to like get into like the problems where like you don't really know what you're doing, or you're just mad for no reason, or you just like
I see
out
what
for
you're
no
saying.
reason.
Okay,
Yeah. No, 6th grade for hormones all over the place.
Whole other story there.
A whole other story. But you have to watch them all day and like try to teach them, and like some of them don't know how to do like some of them don't know how to go to the bathroom in kindergarten by themselves, and then other ones in like 4th grade they don't want to do work and they need like your support and everything. I'm like, that's like a full-time job. Like,
yeah.
I mean, of course it's a full-time job, but it's a hectic, like every time you go to work, you're pretty much like, besides lunch, you have to work every single minute of like an 8-hour day. Whereas like if you work at like a desk job or something, you don't need to like be working every single minute, but teachers don't get paid that much.
Yeah, and the thing is, like with teaching, especially with the young ages, not only are you just trying to teach kids, you're literally raising these kids. Like, just call it like it is. Like especially like in like lower income areas, and like if kids are coming in from like broken households, like you are a parental figure to some of these people. Like you are a role model. So not only do you have to be on your A game the entire time as a teacher, but as a person.
Yeah.
And that is really hard, because I know for me at work, I can be a miserable asshole sometimes and be a little bit snarky. But I can't do that if I'm a teacher, because then I'm imprinting that on a child. Like
you're literally nailing it, because
exactly.
Like I remember all of my teachers like very well from like kindergarten to 4th grade, and they start to fade out a little bit as you get old. Like 5th grade to 8th grade because I was bouncing between a couple more teachers each time. Like you spend like there's always a thing where like people like accidentally call their teacher mom like at least once, and it's because yes, it's because you spend more time with your teacher than your parents when you're in school during the year, because you go to school for 8 hours a day, and then you go to school for 8 hours a day. You're with the one teacher.
Sports or something.
And then if you do sports, or even if you don't do sports, you go home for 8 hours, but you're probably going to sleep like 9 or 10 hours because you're going to get to put to bed earlier. So like, or you might go play by yourself. So like, you do not hang out with your parents for 8 hours, even when you're in 2nd grade. Mm-hmm. But your teachers, you are with the whole day. So what, Raj?
Oh, no, nothing. I joined into she released our grades for, whatchamacallit, Fizz.
Buddy, our grades were released this morning.
No, not like the answers.
Oh, the answers. Gotcha. Anything you'd like to share?
Let's see. I jumped to the conversation. I heard something about calling your teacher mom. So
I meant about those answers.
Oh, those answers. I mean, it's what I probably could have studied more. That's all I can really say about it. I mean, oh well, not a big deal. Still got the 90, whatever.
There you go.
Yeah,
as high as me. Another victory.
That's okay.
You elitist asshole! Oh my god.
What's the Thanos quote? About like riding off to the sunset and like I can look upon like a happy world. I can
smile upon a grateful universe. Yeah. I can rest easy and smile upon a grateful universe.
That's how I feel right now.
Oh my god.
Raj and I took this exam together. This is probably fair to say on the pod, so we're just gonna go for it. Raj and I took this exam together. In one of our classes, issues and healthcare exam together. Because like nothing specified whether or not we could take it together. But then on this next time, he just posted like the new exam, and now we can't take it together. And like obviously with Canvas, you can see like submission times and stuff. So like fair game the first time, he didn't mention it like in the slightest, but it was very explicitly written this time, which is unfortunate. It was a little bit of an L. I saw that come across as like nuts. So it was an L, but we'll bounce back. Raj, any thoughts on education?
In general, just any thoughts.
Let's see. If you didn't go to school in the Northeast, not to slander anyone who didn't, Jacob. Yeah, but clearly there's a failure in the American education system. It sucks. I keep seeing TikToks of people asking people like the basic questions like,
dude, those make me so depressed.
Are you talking about when people go to like New York and are like, how many states are in the
like how many states does the US have? 49. Like they say some horrendous.
I think what's funny is I think the one guy I've seen is he reaffirms that they got the answer right. He's like, correct. And it's really funny because
and he's just sending that person out into the world. They're like, yeah, there are 49 states in the country.
I don't know if he asks I don't know what the process is behind the scenes, but I'm like, if that person genuinely like went up there and said like 100% 49 states in the country, and then they just sent them off in the world, like, dude, you gotta let them know or something. Like, they can't be believing that for like.
Yeah. My favorite one is when he asked, "When's the War of 1812?"
No, I saw that. I saw that. There's also been some like, what countries fought in the Mexican-American War?
Stop it. No, my favorite one is who is this person, and it's Martin Luther King Jr. and no one gets it. It's like, what?
Or some and honestly, the best is when they're like ooh, and they like you can tell they're like on the edge of a thought, and they're like, got it, and then they say the wrong answer.
It's just so wrong.
Like, you thought about that for that long. You were like that on the edge, and like you just flat out got it wrong. There's some other good ones, but like.
Or no, there was one that was like, who's this? It's Abraham Lincoln. And it's like some girl's like, it's Hamilton. It's like, no.
That's funny. No, those videos always, but it's like honestly sad. Like the basic like rudimentary information, and there's been 50 states for a while. Hawaii was annexed in 1948. No, 38. 1938. I think that was the last one admitted. I could be wrong, but like it's been a while. It's been at least 50 years since the last state has been admitted. So like there's been 50 states for a while. You should know who the president is. It's a biggie. Like they literally ask you these questions like when you get concussed because they're like trying to test your memory impairment. So like
that is very true.
Like if you don't know them beforehand, then like that's embarrassing. Imagine getting hit in the head and then them asking you these concussion questions, but you actually just don't even know the answer outright.
So they're like, oh, they're definitely concussed. Like, no, they're fine. They're just dumb.
And that's one of the worst concussions I've ever seen. You go to CT, get it checked out and everything. They're like, don't see anything.
Fine.
Yeah, neurosurgeons like they're cleared to go. And then
wait, you're serious? There's 50 states in the country. It's like
Bill Clinton is still the president.
Yeah. It's like, where have you been?
I'm trying to think of some other ones because there's so many like iconic ones. But yes, I did see the video about the War of 1812. That was real bad.
That's rough. That's really rough.
Oh, a funny video I saw yesterday is unrelated to education, but Josh Shapiro was running for governor in PA. He did this thing with this person where he was like slay or nay. So like this person asked him a bunch of questions, probably like a college age girl. I don't know if it was on her TikTok or Josh Shapiro. I don't think it was on just Josh Shapiro's TikTok, but like honestly though, it was kind of funny and relatable because it was just like basic things like coffee.
No, justice being pandered to by the government. No.
It was like funny.
One.
It was like some like random thing, like it wasn't this exactly, but like coffee, and he was like, "Oh, slay," and then they would sneak in like, then they would see like abortion care for all, and he'd be like slay, and then there's like they would do that, but it was like kind of funny because he was just like, I don't know, it was just like relatable, like politician, not like 100 years old thing. So
okay, that one is fair. Also, who's the senator that's running? Like what? It's Dr. Oz and
Dr. Oz and John Fetterman.
Fetterman, yeah. I always like when it's like Fetterman comes up, and Raj pointed this out the one time, and it was so funny. And he's like, why do they look like they should be flipped for their parties? It's
they do.
Fetterman looks like the devout Republican, but Oz looks like the liberal, and it just is flipped. And then it's like, it's almost like it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I don't think we've talked about it on the pod. If people are unaware, there's like a big Senator race, like midterm elections coming up very soon, and we have like John Fetterman versus Oz, the Democratic Republican, respectively. But the advertisements for them on TV are so nuts. Funny because regardless of what political party you like align with, Dr. Oz always comes on and rips John Fetterman for being quote too far left, and then he wants to release all the prisoners from jail. And then John Fetterman always responds, and I've talked about this with friends, he always responds with, Dr. Oz isn't even from Pennsylvania. And they just keep going back. That's all they advertise against. They don't say anything else. It's always that John Fetterman is too left, and then that Dr. Oz isn't even from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's wild. Or it's like this stuff, like, okay, my two favorites. It's that Dr. Oz says that Fetterman either is trying to release every single prisoner from jail, and they will come and murder all of your family members tonight. And then Fetterman responds with, I let some people out of prison that smoked some weed. Like they didn't get life sentences for that. Or then it was like, what was it? I think it was like Fetterman was saying something. Or no, it was a Fetterman ad. It wasn't actually him that said this, but it was like some woman from New Jersey. And I was like, yeah, I remember Dr. Oz when he was on TV. He had a pill for everything. He took our hard-earned money. It's like, who is this? What is going on?
There was also an ad. Where it's like Dr. Oz is selling diet pills. That were like not actually. And listen, I don't know. Like I haven't looked into this. Like whoever I'm voting for has already been like decided, and I didn't need like political ad to do it. But like
exactly,
it's just wild like what they're saying, and this like the ads aren't even based in like, hi, I'm John Fetterman, and I want to reform criminal justice and improve abortion access for all. It's just like, Dr. Oz, he's not from this state. He's selling diet pills.
Oh my god. No, my favorite one from Oz was like, oh, Fetterman wants gun control? Well, he shot somebody as a cop. And it like shows the interview. And then it's like, the interview is literally like this. It's like Fetterman standing there with one person in front of him. And then he goes, it's like, yeah, unfortunately I had to kill somebody in the line of duty. It was the right decision in the moment because of like the very high stakes situation I was in. I don't necessarily regret it because that was the decision I had to make. Like that's
what?
the quote. It's
No,
it's so entertaining. And like I think that's like it's a very sad indictment of like our political system, but like it is just all for show. Like at this point, it's just theatrics. Like
yeah.
it's so much less about like actually improving the United States, and as it is just this guy did this, you must hate him, so vote for that guy instead.
And it's a sucky culture, and like hopefully it can change over the next couple of years. Hopefully people start to realize. But what's hard is like if you're not doing that, then you're not going to be able to like run a successful campaign.
Yeah,
I think that they tried to do that in 2016, Trump versus Clinton. Like Trump obviously very outspoken. He went with that one approach, and then Clinton with the other approach. But then you saw she eventually came back in and like started being like, I mean, they love the drama. Like they ask him in the elections, like they're talking about like the moderators bring up like Clinton's emails for a reason because they want to hear the response. They want to hear the drama. They want to bring up like Trump's like sexist remarks for that drama. They do it every time. They want to bring up Hunter Biden for Joe Biden. They want to bring up like whoever he runs against. If he runs again, like they're going to bring up everything because they want the drama.
Exactly.
And it's what people talk about.
Exactly. And like, and of course it's like, everybody has their own opinions, whatever. I have my own opinions on Trump, but it's like, you can't deny that dude knew how to work the media. Like he clearly did. It
was one of the most like mind-blowing like way he like captivated people, because some of the stuff he said was like egregious, but I was like, listen, you got 50. He didn't win the popular vote, but it was like 48.
It was close.
50. I mean,
while saying that,
popular vote is always close. I'll even look it up right now. But like the fact that you even get that many people
to vote in general is nuts.
It was. Oh, they're giving me a state by state. Please don't do that.
I don't care.
Clinton got 48% of the popular vote. Trump got 46. So like to get that much of the popular vote is like, it means 46% of the country wanted you to be the president, and like, I mean that's how you work people. And I think that's what people have like demonstrate like have shown now. That's why like all these political ads are so like targeted aggressively, not based on policy, because like you don't need to do that if you want to win or be elected. So, but we'll see that. That's in November, right?
November 8th, I think. Yeah,
something like that.
When the election
I remember being in my room in 2020 freshman year, and I was like watching, and I was just like, "Oh man, here's the show!" Because like the debates are just always like a show, or like they're talking. Oh, the worst when they talk over the moderator, and then
my god,
President Trump, your time is up, and then he's like,
Mr. Vice President, Mr. Biden,
you let him speak to. Please, we're running out of time. We got to go to commercial.
We ran out of time. No, you need to stop talking. You need to stop talking. And it's like 10 minutes over when they should have stopped. And you just see all like the producers in the back are like, let's go. We're going to make so much money off of this.
CNN is like, this is lit.
Exactly.
There's actually this really funny basketball clip of Boogie Cousins. He's playing for the Bucks at this point. A fan comes down. Like, he's like, Boogie, and Boogie's like, come over here. Like, get a picture, whatever. And this guy comes over, like one of the workers there, to keep it clean. He's like, hey, you can't take a picture. And Boogie Cousins goes right at him. Hey, man, like, knock it up. You're taking your job too seriously. Yeah. And the guy is just stunned. He's just
Are you talking about Gideon?
No.
Did you hear a word he said in that
Gideon did the same thing. Yeah, that was his video. He went down to go see DeMarcus Cousins.
Oh, maybe it is Gideon then.
Yeah, it is. Because
he was on the Bucks.
I think so. Yeah,
I don't really know who Gideon is. So, like I know from like talking to you guys, but like I don't watch his stuff. So like all I know is the videos. The guy comes down, like is taking a picture with DeMarcus Cousins, whatever, and one of the people who works there is like coming to shut it down. But DeMarcus Cousins just yells at him, you're taking your job too seriously," which I kind of defend him because like Boogie Cousins was clearly okay with this interaction, and like the only reason the guards are there is to protect the athletes. Like, that's why they're there, or not even guards, but why the people are, like, the point is to have separation between athletes so they can like do their job. And he was clearly okay with like interacting, but the guy was stunned. He was just like, "You're right. I am taking my job too seriously. Gotta knock it off."
Oh my god.
But speaking of the sports world, I think when we're on the pod today, we wanted to talk a little bit about Tom Brady because we haven't talked about the situation a lot, which is actually kind of funny because I think we talked about Tom Brady unretiring. But since then, there's been a lot of stuff going on. If you don't know what we're familiar with, Tom Brady, greatest quarterback of all time, retired this past summer, and then came back into the league. Like, he retired literally like a month later, was like, actually, I'm back. It was a whole thing. Some think he wanted to go to the Dolphins. Some people, like, it's a whole thing. But anyway, he's still playing for the Bucs. If you don't know who Tom Brady is, you probably should stop watching the podcast. It's just not going to be your vibe. But you should totally subscribe, leave a like, put the notifications on, everything like that. So essentially, there's been some stuff revealed about Tom Brady, which, like, I'm not a big fan of, but I think we'll just have Peter. Do you want to describe what's going on with Tom Brady, or actually, I can get Raj's commentary on this.
Yes,
let's get Raj's, not
so
Raj's take.
Set the full
set the Tom Brady scene for us.
So it all began when Tom Brady won the Super Bowl with the Bucs, and AB took a picture with Giselle.
Oh,
it
so
did
you
start
go
with
conspiracy. That. Okay,
yeah.
All right.
But basically, Brady, last season he had his little retiring. He was like, he thought he was MJ with his little retire thing, whatever. But then more information comes out. Giselle was trying to get him to retire and focus on the family and kids. So what does Brady do? He goes back to playing football and ignores his wife and like 4 children. And what else does he do? He decides to pull an Aaron Rodgers and stop talking to them at one point.
Oh, yeah, at one point, yeah.
And then the media finds out Giselle and Brady got divorce attorneys. So now here we are. Brady has one thing left on his mind, and it is football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also recently, this is like a very recent thing. He said like he hasn't been able to focus on his personal life while playing football. And he said, quote unquote, it's like going on military deployment.
Yeah.
Which was the most wild take I think I have ever heard in my life. And he has since come out and said, probably shouldn't have said that. I misspoke when I said that. I wasn't trying to compare myself to actually being deployed into the military.
I wonder if there's people trying to cancel him.
Dude, Florida Brady is wild.
Florida Brady is wild. And Justin, I guarantee you there are people trying to cancel him for that.
Cancel Tom Brady.
It's Twitter. Okay?
Yeah.
That's gonna happen.
You can get canceled for saying like L, just the letter L.
But this Tom Brady situation to me has gotten a little out of control. I did not like when he retired and unretired. Like, it just felt so shallow to me. Like, people were saying when he retired they wouldn't be shocked if Tom Brady eventually came back, and I was like, that's ridiculous. He was drafted in 2000, mind you. He's been playing football for 22 years. So it's not like MJ when he retired like in the peak of his career. So like and he only took a couple years, 1 or 2 years off. So like it wasn't like he was already old, retired and came back. But Tom Brady like has the greatest resume of all time, retires at age 44 and then comes back to play again. But this is after like it didn't rub me the right way. There's a whole bunch of drama about him switching teams. And now just like with all the drama with his family coming out, like I've lost a little bit of respect for him because like, granted, I don't know everything going on behind the scenes, but I do know Tom Brady has played football for 22 years. A physical game, like, doesn't have time for his family. His wife is richer than he is, so this is not really a money thing.
Isn't she like the biggest model in like what South American country?
Is Giselle?
Is she Brazilian?
I wanted to say Brazilian, but then I was like, yeah, Giselle is Brazilian.
Let's go.
But. So, like, Brazilian. Giselle is super rich. So, like, this has never been about the money. And they started dating, like, before Tom Brady was even, like, him. So, like, this has never been about the money. Like, they have, like, 2 kids together. And you would think after 21 years.
3, yeah.
Maybe
3
more.
kids. Like, you would think after all this time, like, Tom Brady would kind of just hang it up. And it rubs me the wrong way that what we're hearing is that, like, he couldn't not play anymore, and he's like willing to get a divorce from it. Like, again, like I want to let people like do their own thing and like keep that stuff aside, but like it feels pretty undeniable that like Giselle didn't want him to play. Like, Giselle wanted him to like take his time, and he has a huge deal with Fox lined up to be like an analyst, like a guy to come on TV
it's like
shows.
A 10-year, like $500 million.
It's a ridiculous contract. And I'm sure Giselle was chill with that because like he would probably do a lot more voice interviews, like appearing on like shows like through Tela or like just flying in for like a game every here and there. So like, and I get the competitiveness, but like you've done this thing for so long and like you got to focus on your family, and now like TMZ has to release that like you think they're getting a divorce. Like I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, personally, I think it's obviously affected his play because the year prior, he basically had an MVP season if Aaron Rodgers didn't also have an MVP season. And this year, he looks like trash compared to that. And you don't fall off after 1 year like that. I think it's very obvious that like he's not himself and that he's focusing on other things, which is like you should have just done that from the beginning then instead of like retiring and then unretiring. It's like if you wanted to keep playing, you should have just kept your head in the game and didn't even take a toe out of that water. Because the second you do, once you start trying to like actually balance that stuff, there's no way you can do it. Because then you lose that like I am all the way in 100%. Because then the second you retire once, it's like you have that out. Like it's like okay, there is something else. Versus like, when you're like, especially the very young guys in the league, you see this. So it's like they will give it their all because they need to fight for everything they have. And with Brady, it's like, are you willing to risk like essentially the happiness for the rest of your life for what? Like the Bucks do not look as good as they used to. They look like trash. And like, obviously like trash isn't really the full extent because they have a lot of injuries, like there's other stuff going on, but they just don't look like the same team. And what, like, if you're going to look back on it and say like he's going to retire probably this year and they're not going to win, they're not going to win the Super Bowl, they're like borderline not going to the playoffs at this point. Like, is this even going to be worth it? And it's like I am fully in the camp that Tom Brady is head and shoulders the greatest quarterback, the greatest football player of all time. Like, there's no other like question about it. But this last season, it's like, what was the point? Like, you're risking your family for a crappy season just to what? Not go to the playoffs? Like, I get it having a competitive edge, but it's like you got to read the room, man. Like, you went out on the top of your game. It's like, just walk out into the sunset. I get it. You hate Adam Schefter for ruining your bit and he released it early. I get that. But like, that's just part of the story. Like, there's nothing left to prove. And like, oh, well, I want 8. Who cares? You have 7. Like, it's not going to make it that much crazier at this point because you already have more rings than like half of the teams have Super Bowls.
Yeah. And I get the ambition. I'm pretty ambitious myself. But like I get the ambition, but like you hear it from pro athletes all the time. They always have to find something else to channel that ambition in. And he could have done that. He could have, like, he has TB12. He could have worked to expand it. He could have started his own gym. He had the Fox deal. He could have made like been the best at his craft, like on air as an analysis. Like, there's other things you can do to channel some of that ambition, some of that competitiveness, in my opinion, other than like, dude, reach out to ESPN you want and be like, yo, I want to debate Stephen A. Smith like once every 2 weeks, like to fill as a competitor. Like, do something. Like, there's other ways to channel it than just being like, I'm going back to football. And it just sounds bad. Like Giselle apparently feels like, quote, unloved and neglected. Tom Brady saying that he's not going to retire after this year. Tom Brady thinks he does as much for the kids. Like there's all these reports. Everyone's speculating, and it's like, now you got like the kids involved in this. Like, Tom Brady doesn't live with them anymore, and then you got the whole AB thing. AB's posting pictures with Giselle and like being weird. Like, it's just, the whole thing is just like a weird situation, and like, I don't know. I feel like it was very avoidable, and I don't know. Like, I feel like Giselle kind of like let Tom Brady play football for 22 years, like peak. Like, definitely, Tom Brady's definitely locked in. Like, let him do what he wanted to do because she loved him, and then now like she wanted like a little bit of him just like take a step back, and he said, I will take a step back, and he said, psych.
Psych, I'm going back.
No, I don't know, maybe behind the scenes Giselle was like, Tom, you can't do anything, you can only be with the family. And then he was just kind of like, well, screw, if you're saying I can't do anything, like no TV or anything, then like you're taking my life away. Like, maybe that's why I decided to come back. he's like, well, if you're not going to support me with TV, I'm just going to play football because that's what I want to do. Like maybe that was the situation, but like
Again,
I feel
know. Yeah.
I feel like someone would say that. Like everyone's reporting about the whole like Giselle's feelings on everything, and no one's reporting on like Tom Brady's feelings. So I kind of feel like Tom Brady's just in the wrong here. But
Yeah.
Raj is one of the most toxic people on planet Earth. Do you have anything you want to say about Tom Brady?
He should retire. I don't like him. He's a very good quarterback. I just don't like him. I don't like him at all. I mean, I hope AB steals his girl. That'll be pretty hilarious to see.
No, dude, AB is disgusting.
Yeah, but I
Watch.
just want I want to see the memes come to fruition.
Okay, let's leave the kids out of this. I don't need them traumatized for no reason. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it just. I just think it sucks to see like the greatest quarterback of all time. And a lot of people hated Tom Brady and the Patriots for just like dominating the NFL for so long.
Still hate him,
but now people are more like, I just like Tom Brady because of like how he's handling everything, which is like it's bad. Like I feel like his legacy is going down.
It is.
Like we've joked about it a lot, like off air and stuff about how like I was a Cowboys fan because like I was rooting for I was a Cowboys fan for a slight minute, rooting for the Cowboys against the Buccaneers because I don't like Tom Brady. But, like, I was willing to go that level because I was like, this guy, like, I don't like what he's doing. And I think, like, a lot of people feel that way. Like, I think a lot of people want to see the Bucs miss the playoffs this year. And I don't think it's, like, I don't think it's by accident because people don't want to see Tom Brady because they're over it.
Because there was, like, that very short window of, like, Brady left New England, and it's like, oh, he's no longer part of the team that we hate. He became very likable on Tampa Bay because we actually found out, like, oh, he's got a personality. He's kind of funny. He's like a chill dad, basically.
He's drinking like avocado, like
vodka or whatever.
Avocado bada, like throwing the Lombardi Trophy off
like,
the back.
That's hilarious.
Of the,
like Florida,
like, it's funny.
Yeah, it's Florida Tom. It was hilarious, and it's like, oh, he's just like this very wholesome guy. You know, he brought a Super Bowl to the legitimately worst team, like in the 4 major sports. Like, they had the lowest winning percentage out of any of them, and then immediately took them to the Super Bowl. First year there. And it's like, all right, he tried to run it back again, tried to go for another one. He has an MVP season. He throws for like 5,000 yards, nearly 50 touchdowns. Like,
he easily wins it if Aaron Rodgers just didn't also have a crazy season.
Exactly. If Aaron Rodgers wasn't throwing like 70% with like no interceptions. Like, exactly. He had the MVP and he was like, what, 43, 44 at the time?
He's 45 now, so he's 43
so he would have been 44.
Then?
He would have been
44 last year, yeah.
Yeah. He would have been 44 years old, arguably like playing his best season of his career and just walking off into the sunset. That would have been the perfect bookend. But now we have the crappy sequel that was not needed. It was the Netflix reboot. I don't like this Tom Brady, okay? I don't like it.
What are you trying to say about Cobra Kai now?
You heard me.
I don't even it's not even like he had his like the regular, like he had the season New England, then he had a sequel which Bucks is pretty cool. We like the sequel. It might not have been as like long and as impressive as the first season, but second season was cool.
Yeah.
The third season's got awful. It's tearing down everything, the other body of work. So like I just feel like get out with your head. And we kind of see the same thing with Aaron Rodgers, and we're not gonna spend a lot of time talking about this, but like just going on podcasts and talking about how he's like on drugs for games and stuff because like
throwing for 500 yards.
Yeah, and he's just like saying stuff like that, and he's like ripping his teammates in interviews and stuff. Well, he's not really ripping them; he's like passive aggressively ripping them. Yeah. And it just like it just sucks to see like legends of the sport. Like Tom Brady's the best quarterback of all time. I'd probably put Aaron somewhere around like 4 or something, like 3 or 4.
He's up there.
And like right now they're all just like making a mockery of themselves. Meanwhile, you got like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, who aren't involved in like any drama, are dominating their sport.
Well, like everybody hates Patrick Mahomes' wife and brother, but not Mahomes himself. It's the inverse Tom Brady. Everybody hates Patrick Mahomes' family, but not him.
And that's why Rodgers did what he did.
I don't even care about all the Aaron Rodgers not with his family stuff like that. That is what it is. Like I don't really care about that. It's funny, but like I don't really care about it. The whole stuff in the off season about like him going on the Joe Rogan show and like, oh no, he was Pat McAfee. Or is he on Joe Rogan too?
He was on.
was.
Well, he was like a recurring guest on McAfee, and then he
McAfee.
went one time on Rogan.
Okay. So then like he's been on there just talking about like being on drugs and how his like his I don't know, it's just the whole thing is not cool. For people who don't know, Patrick Mahomes, quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, his brother is like a TikTok person. And
So
a lot of he just made a lot of he's so annoying. He just made a lot of enemies, and his Patrick Mahomes' wife is really loud and like kind
she's
of
very
obnoxious.
loud and obnoxious, and she's like, "How about them Chiefs?" And it's just like, "Stop it, please.
Yeah.
This is cringe. I don't like it."
And it's funny because Patrick Mahomes is like very calm, like has never said
The
anything. Like,
soft-spoken, like true leader of a team. Like, yeah.
Kermit
it was
the
when he was
Frog.
talking some trash
He
during
was!
the last game, during the Raiders game. Like,
I'm
he was-
here. I'm here.
Did anyone see the edit where they put Kermit's voice?
Yes.
For people who don't know, we're watching the pod. Patrick Mahomes has a pretty funny voice, and everyone says he sounds like Kermit. So someone like took the video, dropped the audio, and it made a Kermit thing that was like,
Yeah.
"I'm here, I'm here,"
So good.
and it's so
good.
funny. I'll find the link to it and put it in the description. But yeah. So I don't know. It's like opposite. And Josh Allen literally hasn't said one thing. I don't think I talked Josh Allen in any controversies.
I also was watching this video. It was like it came to my page. It was like a Chargers video, and it was like how a teammate was talking about how Justin Herbert like never has like a temper, and the only time that he's ever actually heard him get mad is when it was like him and like a couple other teammates were like at like some like grocery store or something, and one of his teammates didn't put a shopping cart back, and he was like, "No, go put the shopping cart back now." So that's the only time they've ever heard him get mad.
That's awesome.
I know, it's so good.
That's honestly, I could see it though. Like
It's so in character. It's
Yeah.
like yeah, he would be that guy to be like, "No, go put the shopping cart back. Be a civilized human being."
that gives off Jacob energy. Like Jacob would do
does.
that.
Yes.
Wait, actually, I could see him like being like, "Screw this! The cart goes right in the parking spot next to me," or I could see him being like,
He'd be one
"Don't
or the
you
other.
dare!"
Yeah, he'd be
Yeah, one or the other. No in between.
Exactly. Well, that's the shopping cart theory.
Yeah,
Because instead of like the trolley theory, it's not, are you in a life or death situation? It's, are you willing to put in a very minuscule amount of effort to help society? Yes
No.
or no?
honestly, sometimes it's all it takes. If everyone just put a little bit of minimal effort in, society would be a lot better.
It's a better question than the trolley one, because
Yeah.
it's not asking a life or death situation. It's an everyday situation.
Mhm.
It's, will you put this shopping cart back or not?
Oh, additionally, we had the Tom Brady video of him screaming at his offensive line, which like, some people were like, it's better than what Aaron Rodgers is doing, sending a passive aggressive shots. At least Aaron Rodgers is like, my receivers are young and they just need to learn
Yeah.
more, and like, which is like, I don't like it still, but at least he's like giving them
He's
something.
like,
It's like, well,
yeah,
they're young.
bad, but they're young. So
Tom
it's
Brady's
okay.
offensive line just won him a Super Bowl 2 years ago, and he's like, and I love people like captioning it over it, like,
Yeah.
I can't be losing. I left my wife and kids to lose to Kenny Pickett.
I cannot be doing this.
It's funny, but no, Tom Brady's kind of a train wreck right now, so it'll be interesting to see how that story plays out. Although I think it's just going to kind of be like a divorce, and then he's just going to keep playing, and then he's not going to win another ring, and everyone's going to be like, it's like the well, what did it cost? Everything.
Exactly. It's like what
See-
it's
see
like
the
you
end of
played
close
another
to one day.
year. Yeah, it's like you played another year of football. Yes. What did it cost? Literally everything.
Everything.
God.
Yep. Well, off Tom Brady topic, Halloween is coming up. We're
Oh,
recording this
yes.
on the 20th, which means the next time we'll record is the 27th, which means Halloween will be in 4 days. And so we're just going to talk about Halloween now, which is, I don't know. What are people's thoughts on Halloween? I feel like people are like pretty polarized on Halloween.
I've always liked Halloween just because like I definitely got this trait from my mom. I love like dressing up in like costumes and like going absurdly hard and stuff like that.
Okay.
So like this year, I am gonna dress up as Young Gravy. I do have a cheetah print shirt that I can go show if we want to do that. It's gonna be a very good time. I also have a wig that I can put on. I actually could do that. Yeah, but I've always really loved it. I was always one of those kids that also dressed up as my favorite candy, so that way anytime I would go to somebody's house and I was that candy, they'd be like, "Oh, I'll give you some more of that." Big brand.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
you're that kid growing up.
I had like the whole route like mapped out of like how to get the most candy, even though like
I didn't see
I
this
like
coming from you.
candy.
This is a
No, but like that's the thing is that like I'm not actually I don't have like a super big sweet tooth, but I just liked just going out with my like friends. Like even when I was young, it was like, you know, we all had like our costumes, whatever. We would like wander around, like go to like people's houses and stuff. I went to Nick Mangold's house and got the king size candy bars from him. That was fun. So yeah, it was a good time. I really like Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween's always been I mean, honestly, like candy, like yeah, I can down like a ton of pieces, but it's just like the feeling of coming home with that big bag filled with candy
Yes,
just over
that's
your
what it
shoulder.
is.
At that point, it's just a competition to see who can get more.
It gets competitive.
Exactly.
Like, I'm sure you were a demon, like getting candy from like places as a kid. Like I could just see you like
I
just
average,
Take
like,
one, grabs the bowl, runs away.
I averaged 10 bowls of Halloween.
Oh my god! Your mom's like, "Where did we get all these bowls from?"
just taking whole bowls, like stealing other people, stealing your friend's
Exactly.
candy. Like
Dude, I lived in a neighborhood with probably like, I mean, the neighborhood slowly got reverse gentrified. So now it's like, it's mostly.
you just created a term on the pod.
Anyway,
So now it's now a very big majority of Indians, and Indians, some of them don't like to do the whole like waiting for a kid to knock on their door, so they leave a bowl out. I take their bowl and whatever candy they put in there. So I'd come home with like a lot of bowls and a big bag of candy. And let's move on so we don't talk about why I just said reverse gentrification.
please stop. Just you didn't need to say it again.
I
You got it the
wanted to.
first time.
I wanted to.
Justin, what are your opinions? Please.
Okay, I'm really not a big fan of Halloween, like the actual day. I like.
Ooh.
I know. I like Halloween the vibe. Like I like the temperature. This is like fall is my favorite temperature. I like it being like 50s, high 40s, like low 50s. Like it's a really cool temperature for me. I like it. I like the vibe. I like the colors. I got like black and orange theme, some purple mixed in there, like cool colors. I like fall. Fall is my favorite season. But the actual process of getting dressed up never been for me. And I'm gonna bring it back to my childhood. They made us do these costume shows when we were in like they're not really shows, but like on Halloween or like the day before Halloween, we'd go outside, the whole school would come out and everyone would walk around in their costumes and all the parents would come and grandparents and all like clad
the Halloween
your
parade.
It's
Yeah.
for your
awful.
parents.
I hate being looked at like that. Like, I don't want like I do that. So I think that set the temp. Like you dress up to school and you have to like walk around. And I remember there's a picture of me holding the sign, like Miss Knott's class, like 3rd grade, walking around in like my Flyers uniform. And honestly, I think that just had like a bad precedence. Like maybe I had a traumatizing experience that I forgot because like I don't like dressing up. I try to do everything possible to avoid dressing up. And you know, of course, you get a girlfriend and suddenly they want to do custom couples costumes, and like no, I don't want to do that.
Are you kidding me? That's so much fun, bro.
No, the first year we had to dress up as Wanda and Cosmo, and I dyed my hair green. That was awful.
That's fire. That's fire.
And then I went to college. Thank God, because she's a year younger, so she didn't come that year, so I didn't have to do another costume. Like,
oh
dress
my
up thing.
god,
That was great. That was great year. Then last year we didn't do a couples costume. That was also good, and we have a wedding that we're going to next week, which is going to be, and then Halloween's on a Monday, so we're not doing that either. So it's been a really good ride here without these couple costumes.
Wow.
But I don't know, like we're gonna graduate soon, and like I feel like they're gonna come back, which this is a whole. It's not
You're
a good situation.
goddamn right. They're gonna come back.
Wanda and Vision time.
Let's go.
I just don't. I'm not a costume person. I just want to like dress up in like some like I think I like hosting, like I like when my family like hosts parties and stuff. Like I like hosting parties. So like I feel like if I had like a little party, like everyone just dressed up in fall fits for Halloween and like people came to the door, I'd be like, that's fun. Well, I didn't even mind like walking around to get like candy or whatnot, but I just don't want to dress up.
So you want like a flannel get together, but not like a costume get together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
so you just want to do fall themes. That's what
No,
we
that's what
determined.
I'm saying. I don't like Halloween the day,
Okay.
but I like Halloween the vibe. Because I'm not a big fan of dressing up. But like I can understand the appeal. Like when I have kids one day, I'm totally gonna make them dress up for Halloween. And, like,
You're just gonna start the cycle over again.
Yeah, I'm gonna traumatize them. They're gonna be like, "I hate you for dressing me up as a kid," and they're gonna make a podcast, and they're gonna come on the podcast and roast me. 'Cause I think I stopped dressing up pretty early. I remember one year I had this Under Armour hoodie, and I didn't want to dress up, so I just got a cape that we had from a vampire costume in the years past, and I just put it around my neck, and I was Captain Under Armour. And that was my costume for the year. I dressed up as a soccer referee once because I was a soccer referee, so I just grabbed my uniform and put it on. But yeah, not a big fan of dressing up. We have these purge masks that we wore last year. That's like a good costume because like I'm like I dressed up as like something, but like I didn't have to like
Actually do anything.
put a whole costume together. So,
Yeah. You see,
but no, I like spooky season vibes. I also don't really rock with horror movies. If you haven't seen our tier list about horror movie villains, you should go check that out on our Instagram page.
but I am, clearly Justin and I are very opposite when it comes to costumes, considering I had my Left Shark costume just in the dorms and just wandered around in it sometimes. That very different. But I understand your train of thought, probably traumatized as a youth, probably don't remember it. So you are all good there.
I did dress up as Bob the Builder, I think, when I was like 3 or something.
That's a fire costume. Come on.
I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty tight.
on.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like my parents did a good job dressing me up when I was like really young. Like I had some fire fits going on. I ain't gonna lie. But as I got older, I don't know, just not my vibe. But like I respect other people who dress up. Like I can see people dress up. And, like I respect that. I'm just like I don't really know if I want to do it.
I'm gonna get my leopard print shirt. Hang on, give me a sec.
All right, we'll give you a second, Peter. But yeah, no, vibes are definitely like the vibes for Halloween are definitely where it's at. But Roger, are you a big spooky movie, horror movie type of person?
I mean, I don't mind them, but I'm not like the type to just like go out of my way to go watch them.
Okay, so you're not watching spooky movies during the season just because it's like Halloween season.
No.
Peter, I deemed that we were unsuccessful.
Huh? No, I was just hiding it so that way I could do the full
Okay,
reveal.
big reveal. Okay, sorry, audio listeners, but
Yeah, sorry, audio listeners, love you to death.
go head over to YouTube, drop a like and a
yes.
comment, subscribe. It helps a lot.
So yes, this is my leopard print shirt that I have for Young Gravy. This was
That's awesome.
$20 on Amazon. It is amazing. It is absurdly thin, so I'm going to be freezing while wearing this. But you know what? We ball,
Yep.
everybody. And there's Raj with his purge mask.
Yep, I have mine back there somewhere. Actually, I don't even know where it is. Hopefully, it's back there. Maybe I'll wear it on like that Monday.
Oh, there
I
we
think
go.
Halloween's on a Monday.
Just walk to class with it. That'll be
Oh,
good.
we're all from New Jersey. Do you guys remember when Chris Christie had to move Halloween because of the hurricane?
Oh my god! Yes, that was so. Oh god,
It was so funny because everyone was mad. Like all the kids were mad. They're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Chris Christie moved Halloween out." And then like now I've got older, I was like he had a good reason to move Halloween.
Yeah, it was like
That's
so
why you're
kids
not in
didn't
office.
die. It was like literally so kids like did not die.
Yeah. But I remember everyone at the time like, "This is ridiculous. You can't move Halloween." And I was like, but like.
Yeah. Also,
Like-
the concept of like moving Halloween like makes like it was so clearly just for the kids because it's like it's a date. Like,
Well, it actually shows how much of like now holidays are more like a social construct than an actual day
yeah,
because like now you wouldn't be able to move Christmas because it's more like religious, but like
yeah.
days like Valentine's Day and stuff like I think you can get away with kind of being like we're
Oh,
gonna
it's
move them
whatever day.
temporarily because of X, Y, or Z
Yeah.
because they're not like holy holidays or anything. So like you couldn't move Easter either, but for Halloween it worked well because that hurricane would have gotten a few people. All right, do we have anything else before we sign off?
Would have just you're just gonna end the sentence. Would have gotten a few people.
Yep.
That's it.
Just like that.
Does anyone else have anything they want to say?
Do you guys remember? Okay, wait. This might have been a North Jersey thing. Mischief Night, was that a
Yes.
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's just a New Jersey thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I have tried to explain Mischief Night to anybody not from New Jersey.
Is
And
it
they're
not
like,
a thing
"What are
other
you-"
places?
No, it's
not.
not.
It's just
It's
Jersey.
literally
Oh.
not. So for those who don't know what Mischief Night is, it's on October 30th, the
Yep.
day before Halloween. You just like go around your town and like TP, house it, like throw toilet paper everywhere, put like shaving cream on stuff. If you're a real degenerate, you put like soap on windows and like light stuff with it.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I do know somebody that did get their car egged the one year, and there was like a big deal because it was like, you can't do that. That's bad. So
Justin Herbert would definitely yell at you if you did that.
Justin Herbert would definitely yell at us, yeah. But that was such a like a fun like that was also like something that was like so much fun because it was like even like the parents were like basically in on it, where they were like, oh yeah, like you have like the little kid like throw the piece of toilet paper like over the branch and then like run away, and then so you go just like grab the toilet paper and like walk away with it.
Listen, if they couldn't be doing that during the pandemic because toilet paper was an
No,
asset.
that was an investment.
Yeah, you couldn't get away with doing that.
No,
but no, I never participated in Mischief Night. I didn't really like the idea. But I never had. I don't think we. Yeah, I'm not a big rule breaker. I'm not even breaking rules. I'm just not a big problem. I'm not a problem child. So.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry,
such a
Peter.
square.
Well, did you live in a development?
No.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I was like, if you live in a development and everyone's in on the bit, like I could see it.
No, I just lived in a small town.
Yeah, I don't think the people I was living near would have appreciated that. Like, I feel like if I like egged my neighbor's house, they would have been like, they would have called the cops or something.
Well, egging is like it actually can damage things, so like that's like definitely a no-no. But like putting shaving cream on like stuff, like it doesn't really do anything. Like toilet paper, it's like it's something like where you just get a hose, you just like spray it.
Ice the driveway.
oh no! Just
so
like
funny.
black ice on the driveway. They just like step out, just eat it immediately.
This is really random, but on the topic of black ice, whenever I see a black ice warning and I'm gonna go running, I'm always like, oh man, like
I'm gonna die.
Then when I'm like, I'm gonna die, like. And every time in our group chat and stuff, people will be like, "Watch out! Like, there's a lot of black ice," and then I almost every single run will just like almost eat it. I'm like, I saw God.
I saw God just break dancing on the sidewalk, like
no, like because I'll get like horizontal because like I slip out a little bit and I catch myself and I'm like, and my heart rate starts beating up, like the adrenaline hits me. I'm like,
just
okay,
dun, yeah.
But then of course I'm stupid enough to keep running again. I'm like, all right, let's continue.
Yep.
Yeah, black ice, not the wave, but
not the wave.
We will persevere. Not the wave. It was 33 degrees out today, so like ice could have formed.
So cold.
I know. I walked out and I could like see my breath in the morning, and I was like, wow, I can really see that.
I woke up, checked my phone, and decided no class today, guys. I'm going to back.
Yeah. We gave you a little update on this. Raj, one podcast or two podcasts ago, I think it was 2 podcasts ago, we talked about we had actually praised Raj for his ability to show up to class on time, everything like that, and he's been awful at it. Awful.
Ever since.
He's missed so many classes since then. So like honestly, like egregious type of behavior from Raj. But
and you know what? Everything's still going well in those classes, so I don't care.
Fair.
And with that note, we are going to end off on the podcast. Thank you everyone for listening. If you made it this far, please make sure you drop a like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel out a lot. Make sure you check down below. We'll have links to our Instagram and all other places you can go. And with that being said, make sure you check out our other content. We are going to be recording a little new sports show that we're going to be doing and a She-Hulk review. So make sure you go check that content out. Like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you next time on the Washed Athlete Podcast.
I think it will be a future Hall of Fame.